Fitin10 Nation, it is day 65, 5 days to go, which blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind how fast these challenges go. Seems as though they go by faster. Probably said this a million times to you, but it still just blows my mind. Day 65, 5 days to go. Macros were sent out this morning. Scans are going to happen not this coming week, but the following week on the Tuesday and Thursday, 6th and 7th. Which I will post the calendar for that. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you guys out I've never done this, it's not that big of a deal, but I've never sent out the post Fitin10 strategy, the exit strategy in advance. I usually give it at the very end, but I'm going to give it to you now so you can ask me questions, and you can just post the questions in Slack or email me. That's fine, okay? Or send in your feedback. I'm still checking that, okay? So, which a lot of you still have to send me your feedback. But really read the whole Fitin10 exit strategy. It's not a long document. It's about 2.5 pages, okay? So it's pretty simple for the most part. All right, so give it a read, and if you have any questions, let me know, okay? All right, let's get to more of your questions. This coming week, I will be making and eating food I personally made in order to be 99% accurate with my food. Why not 100%? Why not 100? Okay, no, 99. 99% is pretty good. It is a bit hard with my family dynamics, but I will do my best. Okay, very, very, very good. Name something specific you need help with. Figuring out weight when doing any lunges. I seem to be weaker when doing any type of lunge versus squat, deadlift. So finding the right amount of weight and having proper form while being effective is a bit tricky. Yeah. So listen, I know. I've seen you do your lunges. And for somebody like yourself, my recommendation is to not use any weight at this point in time. I know we've had you do some weight. Really what we want to try to do here is whenever we're doing any kind of lunge or split squat, we want to always keep the hips underneath the shoulders. And you'll notice that when it gets hard, that will not happen anymore. Your hips will go behind your shoulders. So for you, I would recommend well, I guess I'd have to double check because maybe you've improved enough by now. But certainly you've improved. I know that. I think everybody's improved, obviously. But we take a look and see to make sure that you're getting full range of motion and that the hips always stay underneath the shoulders. Once you can do the prescribed amount of reps with those conditions met, then we're gonna add some weight. So I would say at this point in time, first set should always be with a movement like this, unless you're very advanced, you've been doing this for a long time. Don't pick any weights, just go with body weight. See if you can actually do it correctly and then go up from there, okay? I hope that helps you. Pre-workouts, what are they and what do they do? Do you recommend them? Well, okay. I really want to say they're a waste of money, but I sell them and I take one myself, so clearly they're not. Well, just because I sell them doesn't mean they're not a waste, but I take them, so I can't really say that. But I do, well, I guess I'm not quite as serious as I used to be, but I'm still pretty serious. I still take one to, for one, to flavor my water. That's not a good reason, though. But two, the one that I use, and there's a huge scope of them. The one I use is a non-stimulant based pre-workout. Most pre-workouts are stimulant based. That is, they have something, usually it's a caffeine, maybe they have something else in there, ephedra. Although I think ephedra outlawed, so I don't think you can do that. They definitely have caffeine, most of them have caffeine, but you can get non-stimulant based pre-workouts or intra workouts. You could take it during your workout as well. And these normally have ingredients in them that actually have some ergogenic effects. So they actually will help you with your stamina, your not muscular endurance, but you say your force output, your neurological connection. Like sometimes there's neurotropics in there, these things that help you to stay more alert, so on and so forth. So they do make a difference, but they're, as with most supplements, we're talking about maybe a 5% difference, if at most, really. Okay, so would I recommend it for somebody like you? It depends. I mean, if you take it and it's like, you know what, it really makes a difference in my workouts, then sure, do it. As a recommendation to you, I'd say probably not, even though I want to sell you it. And there's one that I really like that I take. If you want to try it, let me know, and I can give you some, and you can just see if you notice any sort of difference. But there are some good ones out there for sure. You definitely want to stay away from the ones that are just. There are a lot of cheap ones out there that are very caffeinated, and so you feel, you really feel the pre-workout, but it's just caffeine. If you want to have caffeine, just have coffee. There's other stuff in there, but usually it's not enough. So generally speaking, in a pre-workout, there's a whole list of ingredients, and quite often what they do is those ingredients are in there, but they're not really in there in a sufficient amount. Not all pre-workouts, of course. I'm just saying some of them. So you want to be careful when you go to pick one. I use something called Opus. It is by Magnum. There is no stimulants in there, which is great. If I want a stimulant, like I said, I'll just have a coffee. And I prefer to go for the active ingredients in there, things like beta-alanine and some other acid buffers, which will help with muscular stamina. These types of things. I generally don't like neurotropics because I'm really sensitive to them. So you're not wired. If you take some of these neurotropics, you're not wired. You're just awake. It's just like, imagine sleeping really, really well. Like you have the best sleep and you wake up and you're like, wow, I feel like really refreshed and alert. That's the way you feel. You just can't possibly sleep when you're under the influence of those neurotropics. So there is another product that I've used. It's called Pre4. Some people love it. It has neurotropics in there. If I take it first thing in the morning, I still won't sleep at night. I can't sleep at night. That's how strong it is for me. But other people don't have a problem with it. I've never really heard anybody else have an issue with it. So maybe it's, I don't know. It's obviously it's not common with this, which I guess it wouldn't be if they're selling it. So getting back to your question. So again, what do? They help with basically your performance. That's what they do. Specifically, it might be more, like I said, brain-based and or stimulant-based. So you just feel like you've got some, quote, energy, whatever that means. We all have energy, it doesn't matter. But you know what I'm saying. You feel energized. They may have some things in there to help with muscular endurance or possibly muscular force output. They may help with ATP production. Again, this is going to help with it's muscular stamina, think of it as ATP is like the currency for muscle it's currency for muscle contraction, so to speak. So they will help you to do more reps, essentially. Okay, more reps. And yes, I misread that. Do you recommend them? If you want to try it, let me know, okay? I don't want to say yes or no. I would say at this point, if I had to give you an answer, I would say just don't worry about it at this point in time. There's probably some other supplements I'd recommend. I think you're better off taking things like vitamin D, fish oil, a good multivitamin mineral, and a good protein powder. Those are the things I would recommend over a pre-workout. Okay, all right, I think I've said enough on that. Let's go to the message of the day. Okay. Well, it's a pretty simple one. And it goes like this. I'm sure you've heard it before. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. Anything, I've always said this, anything I've really wanted to do, I've found a way to do it. So if you really want to do something, you'll find a way to do it. So anytime you give yourself an excuse not to do something, It's just not that important to you. I don't care what anybody says. It's just not. And believe me, I'm not, I'm not putting anybody down here. There are many things I'm certainly not proud of. There are many things I said I'm going to do, and I never did, and it's just because it just wasn't important for me. But the reason I'm telling you this though is don't get tricked by that. Don't get tricked. It's like, well, I really do want to do this, but it's just these things are holding me back. No. Be honest with yourself. It's important to be honest with yourself, because then maybe you can fix the problem, and maybe you will make it happen. Right? But if you get tricked into thinking that no, I just can't because of such and such reasons, that's probably not the case. Oh, I meant to tell you guys something else about the rice. I use a different rice cooker. I guess I'll tell you that one tomorrow because we're at 11 minutes. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude. We'll talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend.